Hey guys, today is June 19, 2019. My name is Luke and welcome to another episode of The Slatanist, a show where I talk about everything that's been happening in the horror world for the past week so you guys can hear about it all in one place. Actually, at this point you can see it as well because we are shooting this and we're going to film it on video. That was a bad intro. This episode was supposed to come out on Monday, but something else unfolded within the horror world on Twitter and I had to give my 2 cents on it. In case you missed it, over the weekend, a Twitter account got called out for not crediting the artist featured on its page. This resulted in a pretty messy altercation between said account and the entire horror community on Twitter. It got really bad to the point where the account lost over 6,000 followers over the weekend and has since made their account private after the events that has occurred. In case you missed whatever that has happened and you want to know more, you can check out the video that I have posted on Monday. It's currently available on our YouTube channel. Just go to our YouTube channel. It'll be right there. You can check it out. You can have the full details on it and get caught up with whatever happened on Twitter. Also, if you are on Twitter, do follow us at Dark Slate Media. We would really appreciate it. We crossed 666 followers, so we got our 666th follower that day. And then like 2 people unfollowed us, so now we are at 664. So who knows, you might be our 666 followers, so be sure to follow us on Twitter. A little update on the events that has occurred over the weekend. The horror community, being as supportive and awesome as it always is, has now reached out to the artist Clem McDougall, who goes by the name Stab and Stitch, and they began promoting her incredible art within the community to the point that even director Mike Flanagan reached out to her and bought one of her art. So if you wish to support Clem McDougall's work, be sure to check her out on her website. I think it's on Etsy, as well as reach out to her on Twitter, Facebook, and all that. She would definitely love the support given to her because I feel that whatever that has happened to her is very unfair and she absolutely did not deserve being treated like that. So be sure to support her if you can. And yeah, tell her that she's awesome because she absolutely needs to know that her work is great. This is the 3rd episode of the show, and if you are new here, we hope that you would enjoy it and also stick around. The Slateness is part of darkslatemedia.com, a website where we publish articles, reviews, discussions, and the likes at a regular basis, so be sure to check the site out. Alright, now with that out of the way, let's roll the bumper. Okay, so in the realms of getting called out on your mistakes, we got called out on Reddit recently and also got flagged for spam. What a way to start the show, I guess. I guess we didn't know how Reddit works and decided to not engage with the audience there. Instead, we just went in there promoting our work without really thinking about the consequences to that mistake. And yeah, we got called out, we got flagged for spam. I think it's pretty important that we have a conversation about this because not many people like to talk about their faults and mistakes and they decide to like shy away from it. Instead, I believe that in being as transparent as possible in our journey as trying to become one of the popular horror websites out there, I think it's pretty important to let you guys know about everything that happens in the background as well as the foreground because you guys absolutely deserve to know. Okay, so what we've been doing on Reddit recently, we would basically go into the horror community there, the horror subreddit, and we would share our article that we posted onto the website. Basically, we just copy the whole thing, paste it onto Reddit, as well as put a link down there that will link back to our website. And this has been working pretty well. Like, we got a lot of engagement, people comment on it, like it, upvote it, that kind of stuff. So we thought it was all working. Until five days ago, right? When I posted an article called Steven Spielberg and His Impact on Horror. If you haven't checked out the whole article, you could do that. It's on our website as well as on Medium. And so when we posted this article, within like the first hour, I think, some guy came in there, jumped on the comments, and I'll tell you exactly what he said. He said, "Do you ever come here for the chats? Just join in recommending movies and talking horror. Because I can only see you copy and pasting articles from your website." And moments later, after he commented this, the post got flagged for spam. And now I don't have content to talk about because this would be the section where I discuss some of the comments that we have received on Reddit from our article. Guess that's not gonna happen today. However, this got me thinking of something from the perspective of a user instead of a creator, because people like people. And when I realized this and put it into the whole context of this issue, it made a lot of sense, because I would absolutely hate it if I am on a certain forum and there's this one user out there that's just constantly posting his articles listing to his website, and he's only doing that. He's not going into the comments and just talking to like people, engaging in conversations. That would be pretty annoying. Even I would like report all of that person's posts, and now that person was me, and it kind of sucks, like, honestly. So I guess now we just have to engage with the whole horror community on Reddit, and that's something we would have to do really well now. I gotta learn Reddit. Like, I don't really know how Reddit works, so it's gonna be a challenge for me, but I think it'll be a really fun one too. So yeah, life is a learning process. If you are reading and enjoying the content on our website, you might notice the lack of content in the past week. And this is because we are currently like experimenting with different ideas of topics and different types of articles that we plan to post out. This will start rolling out within the end of this week. So I hope you guys are patient enough to wait for that. But there will still be content on that, just not as often, because it started out where we would post articles every single day. And now we realize that that is not really doing well, because when we do that, we are decreasing in quality. And we are just focusing on quantity, which is not a good thing. And I don't want Dark Slate Media to be one of those websites. So instead, we are taking a step back and assessing ourselves and thinking of future ways to make better content for you guys. So I hope you guys would actually stick around, because we have quite a lot in store for you guys. In news this week, a lot of things has happened in the horror world, but one of the biggest is that we finally have our first trailer to Stephen King's Dr. Sleep. The teaser was dropped last Thursday and has since received over 8 million views. The film is directed by Mike Flanagan, who has made some pretty good horror movies like Oculus, Hush, Before I Wake, Ouija, Origin of Evil, and Gerald's Game. And with a pretty solid track record, I think it's pretty safe to say that Dr. Sleep would be a good horror movie, but I don't want to jinx anything yet, so I guess we just have to wait and see on how the movie plays out. Being a sequel to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, this film has a pretty tough bar to beat, because The Shining is known as one of the greatest horror movies ever made. And so this film, if it wants to actually deliver, it has to bring its A game. And I really hope that the film does deliver, because it looks really cool. The trailer features scenes recreated from the 1980 film, and this would mark the second time that we'd see those iconic moments recreated from The Shining. The first one being in Steven Spielberg's Ready Player One, which was a really good movie. Like, I really enjoy and highly recommend you check it out if you haven't, and you probably have, right? Dr. Sleep stars Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson, and Kylie Curran, and is slated to release this November, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. Finally, the new Child's Play remake drops in theaters tomorrow here in Malaysia, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't suck. The film is directed by Lars Klevberg, who also directed Polaroid, that was released last month here. I haven't seen that film yet, and I haven't read reviews about it, and I'm going into Child's Play as my first experience to a Lars Klevberg film, so I'm hoping that it will be good and not suck, because that would be really sad. Like, really sad. The marketing for this film has been really interesting, though, that they always poke fun at the Toy Story films, which also comes out on Thursday, so that's pretty cool. Plus, the both movies has the main character being Andy, and it's about toys coming to life. Yeah, maybe Toy Story is darker than you think. Recently, I have also talked about the original Child's Play franchise by Don Mancini from its first film up until its last one. And if you have seen that video, then you would know how I feel about this reboot. I'm only excited for this new remake because Mark Hamill is voicing Chucky, and that's pretty much it. I have very little expectations for this film, so I'm going in with an open mind though. I just want to see how it plays out. And if it does end up being a bad movie, we still have 7 movies by Don Mancini, not all of which are good, but most of them are, so we still have good Chucky movies if this happens to suck. Today would also mark the 27th anniversary of Tim Burton's Batman Returns. Though rarely brought up in horror conversations, I think that the sequel to the 1989 movie is a straight up horror film because Tim Burton never really followed the origins of Oswald Cobblepot from the comics and instead turned him into a crazy raw fish eating monster. And there are several scenes in this movie that play out exactly like a horror movie would. So in my books, Batman Returns is a horror movie and it should be up there because it's pretty gory as well. Essentially everything about the Penguin in this film is very reminiscent of a horror movie from his backstory and his villainous character traits. Bloody Disgusting also published an article in 2017 detailing the specifics of this, and you should definitely check it out as it's a really good read. Highly recommend it. I'll post a link down below so you can check it out. It's a good read. Like, it tells you the specifics on why Batman Returns is a horror movie, which it is. Batman Returns tells the story of the Caped Crusader trying to save Gotham from the Penguin and Catwoman, and it takes place during Christmas. So I guess you could call this a Christmas movie just as how you guys call Die Hard a Christmas movie. This should be on there as well. In any case though, I really like the Burton Batman movies even though he had his own take on it. I mean, when I come to think of it, every director that helmed a Batman movie basically had their own take on it. There's the gothic, nightmarish Tim Burton movies, the outright campy and cheesy ones by Joel Schumacher, the serious and realistic ones by Christopher Nolan, and the dark and almost perfect ones by Zack Snyder, minus his mommy issues. Yeah, I'm like a huge Batfleck fan. And I cannot really come to terms with the franchise being rebooted. And I think that kind of sucks because Ben Affleck was the best Batman that we've ever seen. Now we have Robert Pattinson. I don't know how he's going to do. But yeah, Ben Affleck is the Batman in my mind. And release the Snyder Cut, man. Like, how long has it been? The fans have been asking for it. We have been asking for it for so long. And we haven't seen it yet. Damn. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. I know it's a pretty short one compared to the previous episodes. I'm really sorry for that because in all honesty, this episode is pretty rushed because I had to put something out, and plus the whole Twitter drama that happened, I wanted to also talk about that. And basically, I didn't have time to do this. So I'm sorry if you guys wanted a longer episode. You'll get it in the next one. I promise you that. Next week's episode is going to be great. We will have a guest on the show as well next week. So that will be really cool. And I hope you guys will stick around for that. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this show. Be sure to let me know by tweeting me at Slate Media. Feel free to drop your suggestions on how we can improve as it really helps us a lot. And I'll see you guys next week when you can either hear or watch me talk about all things horror. And always remember, guys, you're never alone when watching a horror movie. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And goodbye.